Yeah. We're learning now Sefer Tomer Devorah, about to reach the end. We're in the 12th out of 13 midas of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This year's Leilu Nishma Seisha Chashuva Zahava Bas David Alevi. Ayud Beis, the 12th attribute of Hashem out of the 13 attributes of mercy, Midas Shalachamim. Hashem Nishbata La'avoseinu. Hashem made a shavua, Hashem made an oath to our forefathers. Says the Tomer Devorah, the Ramak, Moshe Cordovero, Yesh bnei Adam she'einem agunim. Some people are not decent people. Shocking, yeah, blow the bubble, but some people are not decent people, they're not good people. And yet, we tend to criticize them, we tend to disassociate ourselves from them. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu merachim al kulam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has mercy on all of them, on everybody. How does that work? Because again, one thing you have to realize before we continue, as merciful as Tomer Devorah is like the sweetest sefer that there is, yeah, of his caliber, and everything is good and everything is love, even he knows, and you read it between the lines, that, as the Gemara says, that whoever says the Kodesh Baruch Hu is a vatran, he just, somebody convinces other people, yeah, you do what you want, Hashem will just not even forgive you, Hashem just doesn't care. God doesn't care. Does God really care if there's that? He does, yeah. And if you say this to people, if you propagate the idea that Hashem is just mevater with no cheshbon whatsoever, then your own life will be taken away from you. Says Rashi in that Gemara, because why? Because you're causing other people to sin. That's what people go off the derech. I believe in Hashem, but He doesn't care about what I do. So as much as we have rachamim, there's a system of rachamim. In other words, the reason why Hashem is merachem and sometimes would be mevater is chus avois, or because of something else good that you do, or because it's expecting you to do tshuva. But there is a system. There's not like you can sin to no end and it just goes into thin air. The bad energy is there. Elamai, He puts it on the reshoyim. After you do tshuva, you have to do tshuva, He'll have rachamim. There's chus avois, but there's a system of something does have to happen with the mess that you created. That is throughout. Now comes the explanation. So how does Hashem is marachim the people that are completely, einam agudim, are not decent and sinful? Explains the Gemara, how does that work? Yeah, I will give I'll be gracious and give something for free. Chen, grace, and chinam. It's the same idea. Metzias chen, I heard from Rav Rabbanowitz, means when you like somebody, you don't know why. Just like china means a giving for free. It's like free love. Free, I don't know why, I just like the guy. I like that person because he has chen. He has something, gishmak about him without even knowing why. Without him doing or saying anything, moitze chen. So Hashem likes us unconditionally. But again, what does it mean? It's from Shmos, Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, Oitzer zel oitzim she'enem agunim. I have a special oitzer, I have a special treasure in my treasure house up there, which is infinite. I have a special big one for those that are indecent, those that are not good. Yesh oitzar chanunim. There's an oitzer, there's a special treasure place, a special, so to speak, room in Shemayim with gifts for people who are chanun, who are just receiving for free. Shakadosh Baruch Hu choyne v'noisen lehem matnas chinam, which means, as I explained, yeah, they in order to get something, they get it for free, but it's still an official system. There's a room for that. As we gave them also last time, you have a shop, people come to pay money. You have another room for tzedakah, they can get it, but they have a voucher. They have a certain voucher, they have to give the voucher and they get it for free. A proof that you're poor, then you get it for free. It's still a system. Nobody can just raid the shop, right? Lefi Omar, and he's going to explain more how it works. Lefi Omar Kodesh Baruch Hu yesh lem zchus avois. Where's the voucher? You're a sinner. Why are you alive? Why are you around? And Hashem so far doesn't do anything. Yesh lem zchus avois. In other words, they still have a zchus from the fathers. That protects you from being the children or the descendants of Aaron, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And zchus means zakut, purity. The purity of the forefathers is still, that's Rav Dessler, is still within us. We're zoche and we're zach. Shem and Zayit zach. It's Chanukah now. Zchus avois. Ani nishbati la'avois. I gave my word to the forefathers. Hashem told, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, he'll take care of the children. If so, the children, they don't deserve it. But Yizku, but Ki'ilu Kishbroch is bound, Kivyachal Chalila, he's stuck in the agreement. Not Chas v'Shalom in a bad way, it's a Kishbroch, but he's in the agreement already. Bishvil Shemizera Oves Shenishbati Lahem, I swore to the Avos, I'm now sort of bound by that agreement to deal with their grandchildren and be good to them. I'll tell you a beautiful pshat in the Shmoneh Esrei soon. Lefikach, therefore, anhilim vanagim, I will lead them and I will deal with them and I'll manage them. Ad shituknu. Still, until they get fixed, until they correct their maisim. It's not forever. At some point, the Jew will have to do tshuva, or chalila panish and genem, but he's getting a very, very long extension. The extension period, which can be very long, is in the merit of the Ovos HaKadoshim. And I want to tell you, Pshat, before we continue, this is Pshat that the Belchon Wasserman says, we say every day, 3 times a day, the first bracha of Shmoneh Esrei, which we have to have kavanah. Very good. And it says, B'nei b'neihem leman shmoi be'ahavo. What's leman shmoi be'ahavo? Says Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman. Leman shmoi. Why does Hashem keep the promise? For His good name. If I made an agreement with my good friend that I'll give matanos and gifts and everything to him and his children and great grandchildren, I'm a man of my word. Leman shmoi, and I have to what? Keep my word for him, his son, his grandson, his great grandson. Now, what happens if the grandson is a pest? The grandson is annoying and terrible. I still have to give him a monthly gift because that's part of the agreement. But naturally, would I give it with a smiling face? No. I'd say this grandson is a horrible guy, caused me terrible issues. So now I'd give it to him because I'm bound to, because I'm forced to. But would give it, with a green face, with a lemon face, as they say in Spanish. Says Rabbi Elchanan, livnei v'neim leman shmoi. It's because of his good name. But be'avo, he gives it with love. That's a nice thing. Even though he's only bound by the agreement, Kilu Hashem would give it, he still gives it with love. And that's unbelievable. What does it have to do with us? The same should apply to us in everyday lives with our friends, with our peers. Even if Yifka doesn't necessarily mean to hurt, if he meets Rishoim, he has dealings to do with Rishoim. Don't be cruel to them. Don't put them to shame. Don't embarrass them. Have rachmanus even on the Rishoim. Have rachmanus on the Rishoim. He should say, Soif, at the end of the day, they're the children of Yitzchak Yaakov. They're not kosher. They come from good stock. They come from the fathers of kosher v'hagun. Now, so what? Who cares? Avram Yitzchak Yaakov was a great grandfather, the forefather of the guy who's a hypocrite, Rasha, Rama, Mizane, Porutza. If you mevaze him, you mevaze the person, indirectly you're causing embarrassment and shame to the avois, because we are part of them. I don't want to be the one who's mevaze and mevayish and causing shame and embarrassment over Yitzchak Yaakov indirectly. So cover for their shame. Try and correct them, try and help them go on the right path as much as you can. And the Ha'arav of Goldberg explains that sometimes we see not like that. We see that in other Rishonim that you do have to mevazeh the Rishonim. Explains of Goldberg very nicely that the difference is, are they influencing others or not? If they're Rishonim, he lives down the corner, he has all the terrible technology and all the bad things in his house, and he's a Rosh, and he's cheating people, but he's not affecting anybody else. He sits in his corner. He's not trying to be mashpia. He didn't start the movement of, Rabbi Elizabeth. He's alone. Be nice to him. Try to be makarvim. If a person is out there to be mashpia on others and influence others and to join him in his bad path and bad way, then you try in the nice way. But if it doesn't go, you have to tell people exactly what he's about, and you have to warn people so that spiritual cancer, lo aleinu, shouldn't spread. Be'ezras Hashem will be zocheh to be mekayim this. Thank you very much.